Fatigue is one of the most common and disabling symptoms of long COVID, especially among teenagers and young adults. But why does fatigue linger in some and improve in others? A recent study, part of the long-term effects of COVID-19 in adolescents, LOTECA project, followed nearly 100 young people in Norway who still experience fatigue 6 months after COVID-19. The goal was to uncover what predicts whether fatigue improves or gets worse between 6 and 12 months after infection. The researchers looked at everything from immune markers to heart rate, emotional well-being, and even the participants' ethnic background. The results reveal 3 key predictors that could help identify who is most at risk of prolonged fatigue and why early intervention matters. The first predictor, ethnic background. The strongest single predictor of worsening fatigue was non-European ethnicity. Participants from non-European backgrounds, including those with at least one parent from Asia, Africa, or the Middle East, were more likely to report increasing fatigue at 12 months, despite starting with similar fatigue levels as their European peers at 6 months. But this isn't just about biology or culture. The researchers believe this finding likely reflects a complex mix of factors, including differences in access to healthcare, self-efficacy, and emotional support. For instance, non-European participants scored lower on measures of self-efficacy and higher on depression, both of which can make it harder to recover from long-term illness. The second predictor, immune response. The second major predictor was the level of interferon gamma, IFNG, measured during the acute phase of COVID-19. This is a powerful immune molecule that helps the body fight viruses, but too much of it for too long can lead to prolonged inflammation. High levels of IFNG were linked with greater fatigue 6 months later, possibly because this immune overdrive keeps the body in a state of heightened stress, even long after the virus is gone. This supports the idea that long COVID may, in part, be a post-inflammatory syndrome. The third predictor, autonomic function. The third key finding involves the autonomic nervous system, specifically resting heart rate. The researchers used a simple measure called the RR interval from a resting ECG. A shorter RR interval means a higher resting heart rate, and this was associated with worsening fatigue. In short, participants whose bodies were stuck in fight or flight mode during their acute infection were more likely to struggle with fatigue months later. This fits with prior research showing that autonomic imbalance, too much sympathetic activity and too little parasympathetic activity, is common in long COVID and chronic fatigue. What does this mean for you? The study didn't just identify risks, it offers a roadmap for future prevention and care. If a young person shows signs of immune overactivation, a high resting heart rate, or belongs to a group that may face healthcare disadvantages, they may need extra support in the months after a COVID-19 infection. Interventions aimed at calming the autonomic nervous system, like breathing exercises, biofeedback, or gentle physical activity, could be promising. Likewise, providing culturally sensitive mental health support and boosting self-efficacy could help mitigate some of the risks seen in marginalized groups. Most importantly, the study shows that fatigue is not just in your head. It has measurable biological roots, and with the right support, it may be possible to prevent or reduce the long-term impact of post-COVID fatigue.